Question 1. Topic: Grounds of inadmissibility and deportability. In SS 212 and SS 237, during comprehensive review of process that needs improvement, an immigration officer is evaluating an adjustment of status case for foreign national who has been convicted of crime. The applicant had previously been charged with fraud in federal case but was sentenced to probation instead of imprisonment. Fraud-related offense involved scheme exceeding $12,000, but no jail time was served. Under U.S. immigration law, which of the following statements is most accurate regarding the applicant's admissibility? A. The applicant is inadmissible because any fraud-related conviction, regardless of sentencing, results in permanent bar. B. The applicant may be deportable but is not necessarily inadmissible unless the fraud conviction involved moral turpitude and exceeded the statutory threshold. C. The applicant is eligible for an automatic waiver because the conviction did not involve jail time. D. The applicant is not inadmissible because fraud convictions are considered if they involve more than $50,000 in financial losses. Answer: B. The applicant may be deportable but is not necessarily inadmissible unless the fraud conviction involved moral turpitude and exceeded the statutory threshold. Explanation: under ISS 212, a 2AI person is inadmissible if they have been convicted of crime involving moral turpitude, SIMT, with exceptions for petty offences. Fraud is generally considered SIMT. The petty offence exception applies if the maximum sentence does not exceed 1 year and the actual sentence imposed was less than 6 months. Since the financial loss exceeded $10,000, the exception does not apply. Under an SS 237, a 2AI fraud conviction may make an individual deportable if it constitutes SIMT and was committed within 5 years of admission. However, the threshold for deportability under aggravated felony rules in an SS 101, a 43 MI is financial loss of $10,000 or more, which this case meets. Answer is incorrect because not all fraud convictions result in permanent bar. It depends on factors such as sentence length and financial loss. Answer C is incorrect because waivers are discretionary and require separate application processes. Answer D is incorrect because the threshold for aggravated felony status in fraud cases is $10,000, not $50,000. Question 2. Topic: Employment-based immigration. EP2 and EP3 categories. 1. Investigating inconsistencies across various units. An employer has filed an I-140 petition for foreign national under the EP2 category, advanced degree professionals. However, after USCIS review, the case is denied because the offered job was determined to require only bachelor's degree plus 2 years of experience. Which of the following statements is the most legally sound argument for appealing the A. The employer can argue that the combination of bachelor's degree and 2 years of experience is equivalent to master's degree for EP2 eligibility. B. The applicant can still qualify under EP2 by showing exceptional ability in the field, regardless of degree requirements. C. The employer should refile under the EP3 category since the requirements do not meet the EP2 threshold. D. The denial was incorrect because USCIS must approve cases where employer's internal job description requires an advanced degree. Answer: C. The employer should refile under the EP3 category since the requirements do not meet the EP2 threshold. Explanation: the EP2 category in SS 203 B2 requires the foreign national to have at least master's degree or bachelor's degree plus 5 years of progressive experience. Bachelor's degree plus 2 years of experience does not meet the EP2 requirements, meaning the correct category is EP3 in SS 203B3, which allows for professionals with bachelor's degrees or skilled workers with 2 years of experience. Answer is incorrect because USCIS does not allow equivalencies for EP2 when the only qualification is bachelor's degree with minimal experience. The required equivalency is strictly bachelor's plus 5 years or master's degree. Answer B is incorrect because while exceptional ability can sometimes qualify for EP2, it requires additional evidence beyond normal employment qualifications. Answer D is incorrect because an employer's internal job requirements do not override USCIS criteria, and USCIS evaluates petitions based on legal and regulatory requirements. Question 3. Topic: Asylum and humanitarian relief. Persecution definition and protected grounds. In a case where multiple parties have different objectives, a foreign national applies for asylum in the U.S. claiming that he was targeted by his home country's government due to his public opposition to corruption. His evidence includes newspaper articles mentioning his activism, affidavits from colleagues, and government-issued summons for questioning. However, Ussis denies the asylum application, citing insufficient proof that the persecution was based on protected ground. Which of the following arguments would be most effective in legal challenge? A. The applicant must only show that he faced danger regardless of the reason for the persecution. B. The applicant should argue that his opposition to corruption falls under political opinion, one of the 5 protected grounds for asylum. C. The applicant can claim asylum under humanitarian grounds since government targeting alone is sufficient for protection. D. The applicant must demonstrate that he was part of a specific social group, as opinions do not qualify for asylum protections. Answer. B. The applicant should argue that his opposition to corruption falls under political opinion, one of the 5 protected grounds for asylum. Explanation. Asylum law under ISS 208 states that an applicant must establish persecution based on one of 5 protected grounds: race, religion, nationality, political opinion, or membership in particular social group. Political opinion includes opposition to government actions. As criticizing corruption, Scenes v. Elias Zacharias, 502 U.S. 470, 1992. Answer is incorrect because mere danger is not enough. The applicant must prove that the persecution is tied to protected category. Answer C is incorrect because not all government actions qualify as persecution, and humanitarian asylum has stricter requirements, e.g. severe past harm. Answer D is incorrect because political opinion is an independent ground for asylum and does not require proof of being in social group. These questions test complex legal reasoning requiring deep understanding of immigration law concepts, case precedents, and statutory interpretations. Let me know if you need more. Question 4. During a major transformation where existing methods of immigration processing are being overhauled, a non-citizen applies for an adjustment of status under the employment-based immigration category. However, during the background check, it is discovered that the applicant had previously overstayed a tourist visa by 11 months before departing voluntarily and later re-entering lawfully on a different visa. The applicant has been lawfully since re-entering. The USCIS officer reviewing the application must determine whether the prior overstay makes the applicant inadmissible and whether a waiver is available. Which of the following statements best describes the legal implications of the applicant's situation? A. The applicant is inadmissible due to the 10-year unlawful presence bar under ISS 212A(9). B. And no waiver is available. B. The applicant is inadmissible due to the 3-year bar under ISS 212A(9). BII, but waiver may be available if qualifying relative demonstrates extreme hardship. C. The applicant is not inadmissible because the prior overstay was followed by departure before the accrual of unlawful presence. D. The applicant is inadmissible because any prior overstay, regardless of length, automatically disqualifies person from adjustment of status. Answer. B. The applicant is inadmissible due to the 3-year bar under ISS 212A(9) BII, but waiver may be available if qualifying relative demonstrates extreme hardship. Explanation. Under ISS 212A(9) B, an individual who accrues more than 180 days but less than 1 year of unlawful presence and then departs voluntarily before removal proceedings is subject to 3-year inadmissibility bar. Since the applicant overstayed the tourist visa for 11 months, they triggered the 3-year bar upon departure. However, this bar does not apply indefinitely. It is only triggered upon departure and does not prevent re-entry on different visa if the non-citizen was properly inspected and admitted. Waiver under ISS 212D(3) or provisional waiver I-601A may be available if applicant can demonstrate extreme hardship to U.S. citizen or lawful permanent resident spouse or parent. Thus, option B is correct. Option A is incorrect because the 10-year bar applies only if unlawful presence exceeds 1 year before departure. Option C is incorrect because once an individual exceeds 180 days of unlawful presence, bar is triggered upon departure even if voluntary. Option D is incorrect because while unlawful presence can lead to bars, it does not automatically disqualify person from adjustment of status. Question 5. When implementing new protocols in a shared environment between USCIS and the Department of State, a foreign national applies for a K1 fiancé visa but is denied based on prior finding of misrepresentation during B2 visa interview. The applicant disputes the misrepresentation finding and requests reconsideration. The reviewing officer must determine whether the applicant can overcome the inadmissibility determination. What legal options exist? Which of the following is the best course of action for the applicant? A. The applicant can file an I-601 waiver for misrepresentation if they have qualifying relative who would suffer extreme hardship. B. The applicant can reapply for K1 visa immediately as prior misrepresentation finding does not bar future applications. C. The applicant can request reconsideration by arguing that the misrepresentation finding was in error and providing additional evidence to USCIS. D. The applicant permanently inadmissible due to misrepresentation with no possibility of relief. Answer A. The applicant can file an I-601 waiver for misrepresentation if they have a qualifying relative who would suffer extreme hardship. Explanation. Under an SS 212A 6c, a non-citizen who willfully misrepresents material fact to obtain visa or other immigration benefit is permanently inadmissible. However, an SS 212I provides waiver for misrepresentation if the applicant can show that their removal would cause extreme hardship to U.S. citizen or lawful permanent resident spouse or parent. Option A is correct because an I-601 waiver may be available if the applicant has qualifying relative. Option B is incorrect because finding of material misrepresentation results in lifetime bar, meaning reapplying without addressing the issue would be futile. Option C is partially correct in that the applicant can challenge the misrepresentation finding if it was made in error, but this is not always successful and waiver is still required if the finding stands. Option D is incorrect because permanent inadmissibility does not mean no relief is available. Waiver can be sought under an SS 212I. Question 6. In an environment where different components must interact in consular processing and adjustment of status cases, an applicant for an immigrant visa (EU)S consulate abroad is denied under an SS 221G for administrative processing. The consular officer provides no further explanation other than stating that additional review is required. The applicant is unsure of the next steps and seeks legal guidance. Which of the following best explains what the applicant should do next? A. The applicant should file an immediate appeal with the Board of Immigration Appeals (BIA) to challenge the consular officer's decision. B. The applicant should submit writ of mandamus in federal court to compel the consular officer to issue the visa. C. The applicant should wait for the consulate to complete administrative processing and respond to any requests for additional information. D. The applicant should withdraw the application and reapply at another U.S. consulate with more favorable processing times. Answer. C. The applicant should wait for the consulate to complete administrative processing and respond to any requests for additional information. Explanation. In SS 221, G is commonly used when consular officer needs more information before making final decision on visa application. This can occur due to missing documents, security checks, or verification of prior immigration history. Administrative processing is formal denial, but temporary suspension while the review is conducted. Option C is correct because waiting for the consulate's instructions and providing additional requested documents is the appropriate course of action. Option A is incorrect because consular decisions are not appealable to the Board of Immigration Appeals (BIA). Option B is incorrect because while writ of mandamus could compel the government to act on delayed decision, it cannot force visa approval. Courts are hesitant to intervene unless there is unreasonable delay. Option D is incorrect because withdrawing and reapplying does not necessarily avoid administrative processing, and some applicants may face additional scrutiny for repeated filings. Question 7. As various stakeholders collaborate on shaping policies for asylum seekers, a non-citizen applies for asylum in the U.S. After fleeing their home country due to religious persecution, the applicant files within 6 months of entry, but the U.S. government discovers that the individual resided in a third country for a year before coming to the U.S. without applying for asylum there. The asylum officer must determine whether the applicant remains eligible for asylum under U.S. law. Which of the following factors is most relevant in assessing the applicant's eligibility? A. The applicant's failure to apply for asylum in the third country may result in denial under the firm resettlement bar unless an exception applies. B. The applicant remains eligible because the 1-year filing deadline is the only relevant timing requirement. C. The applicant is automatically ineligible due to their prior residence in third country regardless of the circumstances. D. The applicant can apply for asylum in the U.S. without restriction because the principle of non-refoulement overrides any procedural limitations. Answer. A. The applicant's failure to apply for asylum in the third country may result in denial under the Firm resettlement bar unless an exception applies. Explanation: under NASS 208b2 Roman civ, an asylum applicant is barred from obtaining asylum if they were firmly resettled in another country before arriving in the U.S. This means if the applicant had an offer of permanent residence, citizenship, or similar protection in third country, they may be ineligible for asylum unless they can prove an exception, such as facing mistreatment in that country. Option A is correct because firm resettlement must be analysed before determining eligibility. Option B is incorrect because while the one-year filing deadline is important, the firm resettlement doctrine can still bar asylum. Option C is incorrect because prior residence alone does not automatically result in ineligibility. The key question is whether the applicant was firmly resettled. Option D is incorrect because non-refoulement, the principle of not returning refugees to persecution, applies mainly to withholding of removal, not necessarily to asylum eligibility under an SS 208. Question 8. Given the evolving nature of how employment-based visa applications are processed, a U.S. employer files an I-140 petition for an employee under the ET2 category. The priority date is not yet current under the visa bulletin, but the employee's current non-immigrant status is about to expire. The employee wishes to remain in the U.S. while waiting for an immigrant visa number to become available. What is the best option for the employee to maintain lawful status? A. The employee can apply for an adjustment of status I-485 immediately, even though the priority date is not current. B. The employee can remain in the U.S. indefinitely while waiting for the priority date to become current, even without another valid visa status. C. The employee should apply for an extension or change of status to another non-immigrant category or seek H-1 extensions if eligible. D. The employee must leave the U.S. immediately upon status expiration, as there is no lawful way to remain until the priority date becomes current. Answer: C. The employee should apply for an extension or change of status to another non-immigrant category or seek H-1 extensions if eligible. Explanation: an individual cannot apply for adjustment of status I-485 unless the priority date is current under the visa bulletin. However, employees can maintain lawful presence by extending their current non-immigrant status if eligible, or transitioning to another status. Option C is correct because many EB2 beneficiaries on H-1 visas may qualify for extensions beyond the standard 6-year limit under AC if an I-140 has been approved but a visa number is not available. Option A is incorrect because adjustment of status cannot be filed until the priority date is current. Option B is incorrect because simply having an approved I-140 does not allow the person to remain in the US indefinitely without valid status. Option D is incorrect because leaving the US is not necessarily required. Many applicants can extend their status or switch to another category. Question 9. As the implementation of new border enforcement measures influences humanitarian protections, a non-citizen enters the U.S. without inspection and later applies for temporary protected status (TPS) due to armed conflict in their home country. The application is approved and they wish to adjust to permanent residence through marriage to a U.S. citizen. However, ICE denies the adjustment application, citing their original unlawful entry. What is the primary legal issue preventing the applicant from adjusting status? A. The applicant is ineligible because TPS does not cure unlawful entry for adjustment of status under an SS 245A. B. The applicant is eligible to adjust because TPS holders are automatically considered inspected and admitted. C. The applicant can adjust status only if they first depart the U.S. and apply for an immigrant visa abroad. D. The applicant can file waiver for unlawful presence and reapply for adjustment immediately. Answer: A. The applicant is ineligible because EPS does not cure unlawful entry for adjustment of status under an SS 245A. Explanation: under an SS 245A, an applicant for adjustment of status must have been inspected and admitted or paroled into the U.S. However, TPS does not automatically grant admission under federal law. Option A is correct because TPS recipients who originally entered unlawfully generally cannot adjust unless they qualify under specific circuit court rulings, such as in the 6th, 8th, and 9th circuits, or they travel and re-enter on advance parole. Option B is incorrect because TPS itself does not constitute an inspection and admission under federal law. Option C is incorrect because while leaving and applying abroad is an option, some TPS holders could face 3 or 10-year unlawful presence bar upon departure. Option D is incorrect because TPS does not provide an automatic waiver for unlawful presence at the adjustment stage. Question 10. During a phase where immigration courts face backlog issues and prolonged case processing, a non-citizen is placed in removal proceedings but applies for cancellation of removal as a lawful permanent resident. The applicant has lived in the U.S. for 12 years but has one misdemeanor conviction for theft, which is classified as a crime involving moral turpitude (SIM). The immigration judge must determine whether the applicant qualifies for relief. Which of the following is the most relevant legal standard? The judge will consider A. Whether the applicant meets the continuous residence requirement and does not have an aggravated felony conviction. B. Whether the applicant's offence is automatically considered deportable offence, making them ineligible for cancellation of removal. C. Whether the applicant has a U.S. citizen, spouse, or child who would suffer extreme hardship if they were removed. D. Whether the applicant's time in the U.S. resets to 0 due to the commission of crime involving moral turpitude. Answer. A. Whether the applicant meets the continuous residence requirement and does not have an aggravated felony conviction. Explanation. Under ISS 240A, lawful permanent resident can apply for cancellation of removal if they have lived in the U.S. continuously for at least 7 years after admission, have been in EPR for at least 5 years, and have not been convicted of an aggravated felony. Option A is correct because single SIM that is not an aggravated felony does not automatically bar cancellation of removal. The judge will assess whether the conviction meets the threshold of an aggravated felony under immigration law. Option B is incorrect because SIMT alone does not automatically make an applicant ineligible. The classification as an aggravated felony is what matters. Option C is incorrect because extreme hardship is not a requirement for EPR cancellation of removal. It applies to non-EPR cancellation under ISS 240B. Option D is incorrect because while SIMT can impact cancellation eligibility, it does not necessarily reset the residence clock unless it triggers an aggravated felony classification. Question 11. In a multi-location scenario where consistency requirements must be maintained, a company is expanding its operations across 5 different states, each with slightly different labor laws. The HR team must ensure compliance with wage regulations while maintaining uniform payroll policies. Which of the following strategies would best help the company achieve both compliance and consistency? A. Implement a single payroll system based on the state with the most employee-friendly laws, ensuring no legal violations occur. B. Develop separate payroll structures for each state and manage them independently to avoid compliance risks. C. Establish a centralized payroll framework with localized adjustments for each state, ensuring compliance while maintaining operational consistency. D. Apply federal labor laws uniformly all locations, disregarding state-specific variations for simplicity. Answer. C. Establish a centralized payroll framework with localized adjustments for each state, ensuring compliance while maintaining operational consistency. Explanation. A centralized framework with state-specific adjustments ensures both compliance and operational consistency. State laws vary in areas such as minimum wage, overtime policies, and paid leave, so fully independent payroll structures, option B, may create inefficiencies. A single system approach, option A, may lead to non-compliance in stricter states. Question 12. When implementing backup procedures across various operational sites, a department must create a disaster recovery plan for an organization with multiple data centers. The company has experienced occasional service outages, and a recent analysis showed gaps in data redundancy. Which of the following steps should be prioritized to ensure robust system resilience? A. Perform a full system backup once a month while storing copies in an off-site location. B. Implement real-time data replication across all data centers and conduct regular failover testing. C. Rely on cloud storage solutions exclusively, assuming all providers maintain continuous uptime. D. Require each site to develop independent backup strategies tailored to their local conditions. Answer. B. Implement real-time data replication across all data centers and conduct regular failover testing. Explanation. Real-time data replication with failover testing ensures that service disruptions do not lead to data loss. Monthly backups, option A, create gaps. Cloud reliance, option C, introduces a single point of failure and independent site strategies, option D, lack enterprise-wide coordination. Question 13. During a comprehensive review of A process that needs improvement. A logistics company identifies that delivery delays have increased due to warehouse inefficiencies. After data analysis, the team finds that the order fulfillment system does not prioritize urgent shipments, causing critical packages to be delayed. Which adjustment would best optimize the process? A. Require warehouse employees to manually sort urgent shipments from standard deliveries. B. Introduce an automated prioritization system that identifies and fast-tracks high-priority orders. C. Increase workforce capacity by hiring additional staff without changing the existing system. D. Move all urgent shipments to a separate facility dedicated exclusively to priority deliveries. Answer: B. Introduce an automated prioritization system that identifies and fast-tracks high-priority orders. Explanation: automating prioritization, option B, ensures that urgent orders are handled efficiently and consistently. Manual sorting, option A, is prone to errors. Hiring more staff, option C, does not address system flaws. And separate facilities, option D, increase costs and complexity. Question 14. While analyzing the root causes of sequential problems in a production line, a manufacturer finds that defective products have increased after implementing a new quality control process. The defects appear intermittently, making them difficult to track. What is the best approach to identify and resolve the issue? A. Stop production temporarily and inspect every batch manually for inconsistencies. B. Use real-time monitoring tools and machine learning algorithms to detect patterns in defects. C. Increase the number of quality control inspections throughout the production process. D. Replace the quality control team with a fully automated system to remove human error. Answer: B. Use real-time monitoring tools and machine learning algorithms to detect patterns in defects. Explanation: using real-time monitoring and machine learning helps detect patterns that human inspectors may overlook. Stopping production, option A, is costly. More inspections, option C, address symptoms rather than causes. And full automation, option D, may not solve underlying issues. Question 15. In an environment where different components must interact seamlessly, of financial services companies integrating legacy banking systems with modern fintech platforms. Clients have reported transaction delays and developers suspect data synchronization issues between the systems. What is the most effective solution? A. Require all fintech partners to modify their APIs to align with the legacy systems structure. B. Implement middleware that standardizes data exchange between legacy and modern systems. C. Replace the legacy system entirely with newer platform that is natively compatible with fintech services. D. Allow customers to manually reconcile discrepancies when delays occur. Answer: B. Implement middleware that standardizes data exchange between legacy and modern systems. Explanation: middleware acts as a bridge between incompatible systems, ensuring smooth interaction. Modifying partner APIs, option A, is impractical. Full replacement, option C, is disruptive. And manual reconciliation, option D, is inefficient. Question 16. While examining inconsistencies across various units, a retail chain finds that customer service ratings differ significantly between locations. Some stores have high satisfaction scores, while others receive frequent complaints. Which steps should be taken first to improve overall service quality? A. Standardize all service scripts and train employees to follow identical procedures. B. Conduct an in-depth analysis of high and low-performing stores to identify key differences. C. Replace customer service teams at underperforming locations. D. Offer promotions at lower-rated stores to boost customer engagement. Answer: B. Conduct an in-depth analysis of high and low-performing stores to identify key differences. Explanation: understanding key differences between stores provides insights into best practices. Standardization, option A, may not address underlying issues. Replacing staff, option C, is drastic. And promotions, option D, do not resolve service problems. Question 17. When improving a process that shows unexpected results, a pharmaceutical company finds that a new production method has reduced efficiency despite expectations of improvement. What should be the company's next step? A. Revert to the old process until solution is found. B. Conduct root cause analysis to identify why efficiency decreased. C. Increase the production speed to compensate for inefficiencies. D. Assume external factors caused the decline and wait for results to stabilize. Answer: B. Conduct a root cause analysis to identify why efficiency decreased. Explanation: root cause analysis identifies unexpected consequences of process changes. Reverting Option A. Avoids learning opportunities, increasing speed. Option C. May worsen inefficiencies and waiting. Option D is passive. Question 18. During an emergency response where multiple areas are impacted, a cybersecurity team detects a coordinated attack on corporate servers. What should be the first action? A. Shut down all affected servers immediately. B. Isolate compromised systems while maintaining critical services. C. Notify customers of a security breach before verifying the full impact. D. Deploy backup servers without investigating the root cause. Answer B. Isolate compromised systems while maintaining critical services. Explanation: isolating compromised systems protects data while ensuring business continuity. Full shutdowns, option A, can disrupt operations. Premature notifications, option C, may spread misinformation. And deploying backups, option D, without investigating can reintroduce vulnerabilities. Question 19. When developing a solution that must address opposing needs, a software company must balance security and user convenience in a login system. Which approach best resolves this conflict? A. Require two-factor authentication for all users, regardless of risk level. B. Implement adaptive authentication that increases security measures based on user behavior. C. Eliminate logging complexity by relying solely on biometrics. D. Allow users to choose between different security levels based on preference. Answer B. Implement adaptive authentication that increases security measures based on user behavior. Explanation: adaptive authentication adjusts security dynamically, offering stronger protection for high-risk activities without overburdening routine users. Question 20. During a comprehensive review of a process that needs improvement, a pharmaceutical company identifies that its drug approval timeline is significantly longer than industry standards. Delays occur due to inefficiencies in clinical trials, regulatory paperwork, and interdepartmental communication. What would be the best strategy to streamline the approval process while maintaining compliance? A. Reduce the number of clinical trial phases to accelerate approval timelines. B. Implement a centralized data sharing system to improve coordination among departments. C. Allow each department to develop its own workflow to handle approvals independently. D. Outsource regulatory paperwork to third-party agencies to speed up documentation. Answer B. Implement a centralized data sharing system to improve coordination among departments. Explanation: a centralized data sharing system enhances efficiency and transparency without compromising regulatory requirements. Reducing clinical trials, option A. Risk safety concerns, independent workflows, option C. Increasing consistency and outsourcing paperwork, option D. May lead to compliance risks. Question 21. In a high-stakes environment where multiple challenges must be addressed simultaneously, a global supply chain company is experiencing unexpected delays due to port congestion, transportation strikes, and inconsistent supply reliability. The company must develop a strategy to minimize disruptions while ensuring cost-effective operations. Which of the following actions would be the most effective? A. Increase inventory stockpiles across all regions to avoid disruptions. B. Develop a diversified supplier network and implement real-time logistics monitoring. C. Prioritize shipments by customer demand while reducing reliance on international suppliers. D. Negotiate long-term contracts with specific ports and carriers to ensure priority access. Answer B. Develop a diversified supplier network and implement real-time logistics monitoring. Explanation: a diversified supplier network reduces dependency on any single supplier or region, while real-time monitoring allows for proactive responses to disruptions. Stockpiling inventory, option A, is costly and inefficient. Prioritizing shipments, option C, does not address systemic issues. And long-term contracts, option D, not be flexible enough to handle unforeseen disruptions. Question 22. During a major transformation where existing methods need restructuring, a large financial institution is transitioning from legacy software to a cloud-based system. Employees are resisting the change, and initial implementation has caused delays in transaction processing. What is the best way to ensure a smooth transition? A. Force all employees to switch immediately and discontinue legacy systems. B. Conduct phased implementation with training sessions and real-time support. C. Retain legacy systems indefinitely as a backup while gradually moving operations. D. Assign transition responsibilities solely to the department without business involvement. Answer B. Conduct phased implementation with training sessions and real-time support. Explanation: A phased approach with training and real-time support helps employees adapt gradually while ensuring that business operations are not disrupted. Forcing an immediate switch, option A, creates resistance. Keeping legacy systems indefinitely, option C, hinders progress, and isolating the transition to it alone, option D, ignores business needs. Question 23. When implementing new protocols in a shared environment, a hospital is introducing AI-powered diagnostic tools to assist doctors in patient evaluations. Some physicians question the reliability of AI recommendations, while others feel it may reduce their decision-making authority. How should the hospital address these concerns? A. Mandate the use of AI recommendations in all cases to standardize care. B. Provide training on AI benefits and integrate it as a decision support tool. C. Allow physicians to opt out of AI usage if they are uncomfortable with it. D. Replace human decision-making with AI in routine cases to improve efficiency. Answer: B. Provide training on AI benefits and integrate it as a decision support tool. Explanation: AI should be positioned as a decision support tool rather than a replacement for physicians. Mandating AI use, option A, removes professional judgment. Allowing opt-outs, option C, may limit its effectiveness, and replacing human decision-making, option D, ignores the need for clinical expertise. Question 24. In a situation where formal requirements conflict with operational realities, a telecommunications company must comply with new data privacy regulations that restrict how customer information is stored and accessed. However, the new policies increase response times for customer service requests. What is the best way to balance compliance with operational efficiency? A. Automate data access processes while ensuring compliance with regulatory requirements. B. Apply the strictest data security measures even if it slows down operations. C. Limit data access only to senior employees to reduce risk. D. Challenge the regulation and request exemptions for customer service departments. Answer: A. Automate data access processes while ensuring compliance with regulatory requirements. Explanation: automation ensures compliance while maintaining efficiency. Overly strict measures, option B, reduce responsiveness. Limiting data access, option C, creates bottlenecks, and challenging regulations, option D, is uncertain and time-consuming. Question 25. While analyzing the root causes of sequential problems in a complex workflow, an automotive manufacturer notices quality defects occurring at different stages of production. These defects seem unrelated but lead to higher failure rates in final inspections. What is the most effective approach to resolving this issue? A. Implement stricter final inspections to catch defects before shipping. B. Use Six Sigma analysis to identify patterns in defects across the production line. C. Increase production speed to reduce backlog, assuming defects are random. D. Shift responsibility for quality control to the suppliers of raw materials. Answer: B. Use Six Sigma analysis to identify patterns in defects across the production line. Explanation: Six Sigma analysis helps detect hidden patterns in defects and ensures a systematic improvement approach. Stricter final inspections, option A, do not prevent defects. Increasing speed, option C, may worsen issues. And shifting responsibility, option D, does not address in-house problems. Question 26. During an emergency response where multiple areas are impacted, an airline faces a nationwide system outage preventing passengers from checking in or booking flights. What should be the first priority? A. Restore booking systems before addressing check-in issues. B. Activate a manual backup system for essential operations while troubleshooting. C. Wait for the department to resolve the problem before taking further action. D. Cancel all flights until the system is fully operational. Answer: B. Activate a manual backup system for essential operations while troubleshooting. Explanation: a manual backup system ensures operations can continue while it resolves the outage. Restoring booking first, option A, does not help passengers already at the airport waiting. Option C, leads to frustration and cancellations. Option D, escalate the crisis. Question 27. In an environment where different components must interact efficiently, a smart home technology company is developing a new home automation system. Customers have reported connectivity issues between devices from different manufacturers. What is the best long-term solution? A. Standardize communication protocols and ensure compatibility with multiple manufacturers. B. Require customers to use only one brand of devices to prevent incompatibility. C. Develop proprietary software that overrides other device settings. D. Leave compatibility issues for customers to resolve on their own. Answer A. Standardize communication protocols and ensure compatibility with multiple manufacturers. Explanation. Standardized communication protocols ensure long-term compatibility and user satisfaction, forcing brand loyalty. Option B. Limits consumer choice. Proprietary software. Option C. Can create additional conflicts, and ignoring the problem. Option D. Frustrates customers. Question 28. When improving a process that shows unexpected results, a software development firm implements agile methodologies but notices an increase in project delays instead of improvements. What should the company do next? A. Revert to the previous project management approach. B. Analyze how agile practices were implemented and adjust accordingly. C. Increase deadlines to accommodate unexpected challenges. D. Assign more developers to each project to speed up progress. Answer B. Analyze how agile practices were implemented and adjust accordingly. An explanation. Not all agile implementations are effective initially. A careful review of how agile is applied helps refine processes. Reverting. Option A. Ignores potential benefits. Extending deadlines. Option C. Does not fix inefficiencies. And adding developers. Option D. May create coordination issues. Question 29. While investigating a complicated issue between different teams, a global retail company finds that marketing and supply chain teams have conflicting priorities, leading to stock shortages. What is the best resolution? A. Align both teams' goals with shared performance metric. B. Let marketing dictate demand forecasts without supply chain input. C. Reduce marketing campaigns to match supply limitations. D. Increase inventory levels as buffer against demand spikes. Answer A. Align both teams' goals with shared performance metric. Explanation. Shared performance metric ensures better coordination between teams. Letting one team control forecasting. Option B is unbalanced. Reducing campaigns. Option C may hurt revenue. And higher inventory levels. Option D increase costs. Question 30. In a scenario where efficiency decreases across multiple locations, a global restaurant chain notices that some locations have higher wait times, more customer complaints, and inconsistent service quality compared to others. Which of the following would be the most effective solution? A. Standardize training programs and monitor performance metrics across all locations. B. Allow each restaurant to implement its own service strategies to find what works best. C. Reduce menu options to simplify operations and speed up service. D. Hire more staff at underperforming locations without changing operational strategies. Answer A. Standardize training programs and monitor performance metrics across all locations. Explanation. Standardized training and performance monitoring ensure consistency across all locations. Allowing independent strategies. Option B creates inconsistencies. Reducing menu options. Option C may not address service quality, and hiring more staff. Option D does not solve efficiency problems if the process remains flawed.